Welcome once again. Looks like we've got a bull bunch of people on our meeting net tonight. Welcome to our Zoom project, and I think that we're on YouTube tonight also, right? Yeah, yes. We are. You can see that just now. All right, very good. Well, I want to say, first of all, before I say anything else, is thanks to Trevor for providing this meeting place for us tonight where you can actually launch our Zoom and our meeting. So thanks, Trevor, for doing this for us. Thank you very much. All right. And thanks to everybody for joining us on our meeting this evening. I know it's not the most convenient thing, and, the timing isn't always the best, especially during this you-know-what. But hey, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Well, I'm going to turn the time over to Carl for just a second for a couple of event announcements. Take it away, Carl.
Okay, can you hear me?
We hear you.
All right, good. On a new laptop here, so I'm not sure. Anyway, a couple of things. Thank you to everybody that participated in the SantaNet. And that includes the people that actually logged in and participated with it, all those who were behind the scenes and promoted it. Appreciate Santa. I won't even mention any names. I appreciate all the elves. I won't mention the name. And everybody else that helped, and we really appreciate that. And that 2 nights was about an hour each night, and I think everybody had a lot of fun. And so I appreciate that. Also, coming up, and I know this just got figured out by Lynn, who's in Highland. He got us a date for the barbecue this year at Highland Glen Park. So save the date, June 12th, and it'll be a 9 to 4, scheduled 9 to 4, and hopefully we'll be able to have a barbecue and do everything instead of like we had to do last year, which was just kind of potluck. So we'll see what happens there, and hopefully we'll see everybody there and to enjoy that. Highland Glen Park is up behind the high school up in which high school? Lone Peak High School.
Yep.
And so hopefully we'll catch everybody there. That's in June. That's all I got, Noji, unless there's something else you want me to mention.
No, I think that was it. Thank you very much, Carl. Appreciate it. And thanks for all your work in those areas and standing up for us. Let's take it over to Wendy now, KW3NDY. And Wendy, you got some activity announcements. Go ahead with yours.
All right. So we have an opportunity to participate in the 2021 Winter Field Day. It's going to be at the Linden South Marina starting Friday night, January 29th, for setup on Saturday morning. If people could come out and help set up from 8 a.m. to noon, we would love to have some warm bodies. And we're going to have, there's no cost to get in because the club will cover the cost to come out and have some fun doing some ham radio. We start at noon on Saturday and go 24 hours for contesting. And if you are under licensed, no problem, we'll get you on the air. So if you're interested, there's more information on the UVARC.club website under Winter Field Day. The other announcement that I have will be next month on our, no, not next month. At some future date, we're going to have an ugly radio antenna contest. So if you're looking at getting that going, you're welcome to design or make a ugly antenna. That's coming up in the future. And then our summer field day will be June. Let me look at the calendar. I forgot what day it was already.
26.
June 20. Well, we're going to go up on June 25th.
26th, 27th.
And through the 27th of June. And that is, we're looking at doing the Co-op Creek Forest Service area. I'm working on the permits now. And it should be a fun time camping out. Trailers, tents, lean-to, whatever you want to bring, a hammock. so that, we're going to have fun on the radio then too. So those are some of the activities that are coming up. And I think I'm sending it back to Noji.
All right, thank you, Wendy. Should we bring our winter coat there too?
Well, it might be a little chilly out at the Linden Marina because, warm shoes, some hand warmers, extra layers is always a good plan. So
what are the dates again, Wendy?
That is really
Well,
a good idea.
Well, I was talking about the summer field day.
Oh, well, we did have snow one year, but, it didn't stay long.
Well, thank you, Wendy, very much. Appreciate that. And could you kind of repeat the dates again of our winter field day?
Winter field day is going to be January 25th is our setup.
30th.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at June again. See, you got me jumping from June to January.
Sorry.
Winter field day is setup. We're going to be able to camp out the 29th. Setup is Saturday morning, the 30th. And we're going to run 24 hours starting at noon. So should be a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you very much, Wendy. Appreciate that. Anybody have any questions for either Wendy or Carl at this point? All right. Let's go ahead and turn it over to Lauren for some new ham announcements. Lauren, if you're on, I didn't see your name just yet, but if you're there, please go ahead and take it away. Oh, there you are.
Yep, I'm here. Okay, so it looks like we have about 9 new hams this month.
Frozen computer.
Lori Fleischer, Adam Hall, Doris, and Tyler Ekstrom. And so not a whole lot, but it's quality, not quantity, right?
Hey, Lauren.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but your audio, your video froze in the middle of that. Could you restart that, please? Sorry.
Let me stop. Okay, is my video back?
Looks good now. You look like Lauren.
Good old Comcast. Okay. So we have the 9 new hams. So everybody give them a hand. And we actually have a good number of upgrades, looks like 5 upgrades, 4 to general and 1 to extra. So we look forward to seeing those guys at field day, winter field day.
What are the names of those new hams, by the way?
Well, we have Lori Fleischer, Adam Hall, Dolores Asbill, David Bronson, Sarah Bronson, Spencer Call, Mark Myers, John Davis, and Tyler Ekstrom.
Very nice.
All right, back to Noji.
All right, thank you, Lauren, and congrats to the upgrades too. Appreciate you making that announcement for us. All right, well, let me just take the liberty of announcing a couple of our nets that we have for our club. One is the ladies' net. We have every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Please invite your ladies, if you can, to participate in that net if they like. It's a lot of fun, and that's growing like crazy. That ladies' net's leaps and bounds. Got more and more women all the time, and they just have a lot of fun talking with each other. But anyway, I don't know what they talk about. Also, we have our new ham net every Thursday night at 7, except for tonight, which is our meeting night. And then we have the CERT ham net, which is on the second and fourth Thursday at 8 o'clock. And these are all on the 146.78 repeater, the club repeater. And then we also have the family history net every Saturday night at 8 o'clock. And now aside from, and those are again all on the 146.78 repeater. And aside from that, we also have the an HF net every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock on whatever frequency. This month we are on 40 meters. And don't ask me to remember what frequency we're on, but anyway, 40 meters, right? All this month. Every month we skip around to a different band. So 40 meters this month. And then that's Wednesdays at 9 o'clock. And then on Friday nights, we have the 6 meter net at 8 o'clock on 50.140. And then Salt Lake has one also on 50.150 at 9 o'clock. And then let's see, what else is there? There was one more, but no. Oh, well, okay. Thanks.
You know, I would have remembered, but someone stole my job.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. Thanks, Brent.
The Jackson Hole Area Amateur Radio Club net.
No, we appreciate that, Brent. And, I didn't ask you because you already have a big job tonight, and that's okay. So what were you going to say, Carl?
The Jackson Hole Area Amateur Radio Club net on at 8 o'clock on 7/6.
Right. Every Monday night, 8 o'clock, 7/6 repeater. 146.76 is the Jackson Hole net. And that's always a fun net, talking with Mick and the boys. And then on a Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, also on the 7/6 repeater, is the 7/6ers net, right, Carl?
Correct.
Anything else I missed?
No, I just thought I'd throw the Jackson Hole in there because a lot of people have been missing that net lately, and
That's true.
Mick needs our support up there.
That's true. Yeah, thank you very much for that reminder. Yeah, I was all netted out and I couldn't remember them all. So thank you for that reminder, Carl. All right. Well, it is time now to launch into our presentations section. So I am going to turn the time over to Lisa, my wonderful and beautiful wife. And she's our KR5 LYF. So Lisa, if you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, sounds good.
All right, let me share my screen. Launch this. Okay. I'm really honored to be asked to cover this topic tonight. As I was explaining earlier, I happen to be an expert on this. And this is how to get someone interested in ham radio. I gotta get this to go up and stay up there anyway. So I'll let you read the screen, but basically the number 2 question people ask me is just how many antennas are on your roof? That number is 6. But the number 1 question is, how do I get my fill in the blank into ham radio? And I love short answers. And this is the truth. You don't. You're not going to. So knock it off. Why are you trying to do that? Leave them alone. That being said, there may be a conversation that you could have. Now, this conversation needs to be in a quiet place, maybe on a date or something where you can talk. You need to keep emotion out of this. You need to keep "you will do this" out of this conversation. And it just needs to be hey, here's some benefits to having a license. Here's some reasons why it might be a good idea. So I will give you a few of these. You can come up with those. There may be some others that you have thought of that I haven't. That's fine. So first of all, think about any outdoor activities your family happens to do. Okay, and then think, how could ham radio help in these activities? I know that we tend to go camping, hiking, and ghost towning. Oh, and I accidentally got rid of rock hounding. And I like to go off-roading. Anyway, in all of those, we've used ham radio. When you're hiking, you've got the front group and the rear group. If each of them has a ham radio, you're always in contact with each other. Camping, unless you are constantly at the same place all the time with your loved one, it's really nice. Just to give you some ideas, if you are going up in hot air balloons, you're in one, your loved one's in the other one. Boy, having ham radio would be great, right? I don't know. It was a beautiful picture. So how can that help what we're doing, what we already do? Okay, what about travel? You know, a lot of times Noji and I will have our extended family, our children and grandchildren, we'll all be caravanning somewhere. It's so nice to have those ham radios, one in each car. You know, then if someone's like, I really need to stop for gas, then everybody knows about it. Don't know about you, but I can't hear my cell phone ringing in my car. So ham radio is great. Have you ever been out of cell service? I mean, there's a lot of places still where you could be driving down the road and you just don't have any cell service. Ham radio comes in very, very handy then. Or let's say you're on I-15, you're starting to see a slowdown, you know, a couple, you know, a ways ahead. You want that traffic report right now. You're not going to wait for the nines, right? So you get on and you call your loved one and say, "Could you just look at it for me? Do I need to get off the freeway here, or how bad is it?" So those types of things can be really helpful. And 2020, that's all I'm going to say. What if there are some events that are going on? Let's just, for an example, let's say one spouse works in downtown Salt Lake City and the other spouse is at home, and there's something. You know, a lot of times when there's something, the cell towers get overloaded, and you just want to find out how your loved one's doing. Ta-da, ham radio, right? You've got a frequency you agree on, and ta-da, you are talking, and you know, people are fine. And I think that these are all really, really great reasons to have a ham radio license. There is a social aspect that I think is really important that I would like to cover. First of all, it's just a heck of a lot of fun. I know when I was when I first was on the air, I was kind of shy, didn't get on very often. But one thing I noticed, and I'm talking to you men, I hate to say this, but you guys are so dang serious. Sorry, I hope I don't hurt your feelings, but you are talking on the radio like we're in the middle of a disaster. It's so serious. You're so serious. I'm like, let's have a little fun. And so what I would do is listen really closely for some way to crack a joke, right? To tease somebody. Carl. I never teased Carl. No. And I'd just hop in there. I'd give somebody a bad time and I'd hop off. It was a lot of fun. One time I was on the road. It was a little bit later at night. I wasn't usually on the air at this time. I heard somebody call out for Curtis. I can't remember who it was. Anyway, somebody called out for Curtis and he wasn't on the air. And I, for whatever reason, you know, I get kind of silly after 9 at night. For whatever reason, I grabbed my microphone and I said, "Hey, how you doing, buddy? This is Curtis. I'm doing an imitation of KR5LYS. What do you think? How does it sound?" Oh my gosh. He was like, "Wow, that's pretty good. That's rather convincing." And I was laughing so hard, having so much fun. Yes, I gave my call sign and I did say it really was me. And we laughed and it was great. It was a lot of fun. So I think fun is a good reason to have a license. Discussion topics. Let's say that, man, you want to talk to somebody about something. You really don't want to get dressed and, well, okay, put on your socks and shoes. You should be dressed. But you know, you don't want to go out and go somewhere. You just want to talk to somebody about an interest that maybe you share with someone. Hey, ham radio. You're there, you're home, you're in your bunny slippers. There's someone you can talk to. And this is my moment to give a little plug for our Family History Net. Like Noji said, it's on Saturdays at 8 p.m. on our club repeater, 14678. And we have a great time just talking about family history. Who knew a Family History Net would be such a hot item on ham radio? But it is. And you can stay at home. Who needs a pandemic to figure out you can stay at home and still have friends and still communicate with people and just shout out to somebody who is available to talk. You know, You don't have to pick up your cell phone and dial some one specific person and say, hey, are you available to talk? You know, you just shout out, you go, hey, I'm on the air. Is anybody out there? I'd love to have a little QSO. In your bunny slippers. Couldn't find the bunny slippers, but you know, from home, it's great. Okay, so believe it or not, I have really gotten this question from both men and women of how do I get my loved one involved in ham radio? But I think I have gotten this more from men than women. And so for a minute, if you don't mind, I'm going to just swing out a little bit into the women's world, because guess what? Ham radio needs ladies. Now, this is not a, oh, you have to get involved. You must do this. This is a, you know what? We need you. And I'm not kidding. So let me tell you a little story about this that helped me to understand this concept. Oh, who put that in there? No, did you sneak this in there? Okay, well, it's pretty funny though. I have had a few people tell me that I sound like my voice, I don't know, whatever. I think they're totally on drugs, but that my voice is this really beautiful voice, and I'm just laughing my head off, okay? So basically, a woman can look like whatever, and a man will hear that voice and just picture this gorgeous bombshell, okay? That's the way it is, and it's kind of fun, to tell you the truth. Women's voices, they tend to do better on HF, and in contesting, yeah, a woman gets on, you got to pile up, right? In fact, anytime I go to field day, I get on and I go, hey, I'm a woman, where's my pile up? Because it's funny. But anyway, but just one warning, men, this little cartoon, you probably can't read it. It's the husband, he's saying, it used to be my hobby too, because his wife just took over and went, hey, I'm on the radio. There you go. Oh, how'd this get in here too? Why can't you at least try being like other girls? Okay, here's the story. There was a man who spoke at a conference I went to. He is from Long Beach, Washington. He challenged all the youth in his area to get ticketed, to get their license. All the young ladies happened to go in with their leaders, and they all got licensed. And here's where Long Beach, Washington is, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So see, it's just barely above the border between Washington and Oregon. But I'm going to zoom in, and you see how it's really L-shaped, cool L-shaped peninsula. Okay, so this is where they lived. And let me tell you what happened. So there was this huge, they call it the Great Coastal Gale of 2007. It was basically a series of 3 storms. It was, first of all, the heaviest snowfall in Washington, which if you know anything about Washington, it doesn't snow there. They don't have any snow removal equipment at all. Okay. The second day, they had tons of rain and heavy winds. They had a lot of flooding. They had a lot of tree fall. And then the third day, they had hurricane force winds and record rainfall. So even more flooding, and like, if you know Washington, there are trees everywhere. So if you can imagine that kind of tree fall, oh yeah, it was really, really severe. Here's just a little information about the winds and the gusts. So Long Beach, where I showed you, they were considered ground zero. They were hit the absolute hardest. They had this power outage like no other. Their communications were out for about 7 days. Their peninsula turned into an island. The place where they connected to the mainland was so flooded, they were an island. There was so much damage. I mean, this is just one shot of what it looked like. Everybody in that area had tons of damage. So guess what happened? And this, don't you love this cell tower that tipped over? Yep. The towers went down. The landlines, interestingly enough, you could call someone if you had the same prefix. So if our number was 801-226-4259, I could call other 226 numbers. But if it was a 227, I couldn't call them. There was no 911. The satellite phones, interestingly enough, couldn't function because the cloud coverage was too dense. The satellite phones couldn't get through the cloud coverage. Both repeaters went down. And so what they had left was simplex. And what they found out was the men were doing what I call the heavy lifting. They were going out with the chainsaws. They were putting tarps on roofs. They were cutting trees. They were clearing roads. They were doing really heavy labor. I'm sure there were some women doing that as well, but basically they couldn't spare any of those men or young men from this heavy workload. So these young ladies and their two leaders were in charge of all communication in the area, 24 hours a day for 7 whole days in a complete week. They were the communications for the fire department, the police department, search and rescue. There was even a military unit that they were doing communications for as well. They were communications for this entire island. So they were in the corner of the L, and they relayed north and west or east, north and east, and they were basically the ERC right there, taking communications, and then they relayed everything to the EOC. They happened to have some good radios and some good antennas with plenty of power, and they were able to reach the EOC, which was up in South Bend. So this so inspired me. And I stopped and I thought, you know what? Isn't that the way it's going to be in any kind of a disaster? Any able-bodied man is going to be needed to be doing this hard labor, this heavy-duty stuff. Yeah, a lot of women will be able to do that too. But who do they need then to be on the radios? Well, yeah, women are absolutely needed. Yes, older gentlemen, people who have maybe some mobility issues or something, yes, needed as well. But it just really hit me hard how much women are really, really needed in the ham radio world. So that being said, we do have, well, let me back up for a minute. Like I said, I have a lot of fun with ham radio. I tend to just tease people. But I kept meeting these women who said, I've had my ticket for 5 years, 8 years, 10 years. I've never, ever gotten on the air. I'm too scared. I'm afraid that I'm going to make a mistake and someone's going to yell at me. Okay, sorry guys, you're sitting there going, who would ever think that? Well, that's not so far-fetched for a woman to feel that way. And so what we came up with was a ladies' net where, sorry guys, you can't get on there. You can't help us. We need to have the opportunity as women to make our mistakes, to learn from our mistakes all by ourselves, to figure things out, and to get that experience behind us, to have that confidence that we can really do a good job on ham radio. So that's why we're totally sexist on this. Yep, sorry guys, you got to stay out and you can't help us. I know, that's so mean, huh, right? Hardest thing to ask a guy, do not help me. But that's what we need. And it's really successful. And we have a lot of lady hams who are joining this net, and they're gaining the confidence that they need. And then they're finding out, okay, really nobody is going to yell at them anyway. But having that confidence is really key. So we do have a safe place for ladies to gather to practice their radio skills. And I don't know if any of you have been bounced off this net. It hasn't happened in a really long time, really, truly. But we have a bouncer, and we're pretty serious about it. In fact, we're totally serious about it. This is for ladies, and we need to not be helped. That's so mean. It's such a mean thing to say. Anyway, and thank you for allowing us to learn from our own mistakes. Because I know it's so easy. You know, the answer would take 2 seconds, but we need to learn on our own. Okay, so you've had that entire conversation. You've sat down, you said, here's some benefits. If you happen to be talking about a woman, you know, ham radio, really, women are needed in ham radio. Here's a safe place for women. Yeah, if you had that conversation and the answer is still no, then the answer is no. And you need to drop it permanently, period. And I mean it. You need to just let it go. There's a slight chance that that person may think it over, may at some point down the road decide maybe they want to change their mind. There's a small chance. If you bring it up a second time after this wonderful, lovely conversation, your odds just went down to 0 again. They're not going to do it. If you are hounding them or bugging them or annoying them or bringing it up more than one time, you just shot yourself. The answer is no for forever. You're not going to convince them. If you let it go and they change their mind, there's a small chance that they might change their mind and they'll come back. So I'm serious. I'm totally serious about this. You just got to let go of it and respect that, because hello, if I wanted to force you to do something you don't want to do, how successful would I be? For most of you, pretty not successful. Okay. You would just go, no, right? Hey, you need to go spend $1,000 and take up golf. Okay, maybe you already like golf and you love it. Fine. What if you don't like it? You know, and I just keep bringing it up. It's not going to go anywhere. So there you go. You got to respect that person. You got to let it go. So at the end, I just want to say we love our hams. I enjoy ham radio. I think that we have a fantastic community here where people are happy. They feel very welcomed and loved. And I haven't heard anybody chewing anybody out. And I think the world of this ham community. I think all of you guys and girls, men, women, ladies, old men, whoever you are, young youth, yes, Brent, you can pat yourself. We should all pat ourselves on the back because we have a fantastic community. We feel the love here, and I think that's fantastic. This is probably the best place for someone to get into ham radio because it's just a great place. So thank you. I finished my presentation. I'm going to turn it back to Nat.
Comment?
Did I hear Carl?
I've just got a comment.
There goes.
Oh boy.
We're laughing.
No, Annette, it's not on you. A couple of years ago, actually, it's been about three years ago. I never thought my wife would get into it at all. I woke up one very, very, very snowy morning, and she was gone already. I didn't know where she left. I thought she might have headed out to go shopping, and she took off with my daughter, which I did not know all day. I was kind of worried about them all day, and they showed up about 4 o'clock at the door that afternoon with a picture with your husband and the two of them. They had snuck off to BYU, and they had taken their test at the ham and a day class. So you never know when they might surprise you.
You never know. And was that the best surprise of your whole life? Okay, was it way up there on the list?
Well, it definitely was surprised me. They definitely caught me off guard. They were definitely sneaky, and they had fun doing it. They haven't gone on much except for when we travel. They get on when we travel, but they haven't gone on much. But hey, one more little benefit, if you can get your kids involved, especially teenagers and stuff like that, there's an opportunity with ARRL to apply as a ham for grants for college.
Ooh.
And not grants, I shouldn't say scholarships for
Scholarship.
college.
Mhm.
And my daughter, that was one of her things that she did, is she applied for a scholarship as a ham. She didn't get it, but I mean, there's no hurting in applying.
Hey, that's fantastic. I'm going to add that to my list, and I appreciate that. And yeah, let your loved one surprise you. If you drop it, they can surprise you. So good job, Carl. You did the right thing. And Phyllis, I love having you on the air. You're awesome.
Hey, I've got a question.
Okay, go ahead, Noji.
I just was wondering, I've been trying to do this for a long time, but how did you get hold of Steve Whitehead's photo there of his vehicle?
He likes me more than he likes you.
I guess so.
The only thing missing is the 20-foot trailer with all the other antennas on it.
Well, I couldn't fit it.
That's true.
I couldn't fit it in the shot.
Hey, do you mind if I add something, Lisa?
I would love it. Go ahead, Brent.
I really kind of appreciated what you talked about with everyone kind of being so serious and whatnot. It's always, I've always been a person that tries not to take life too seriously. Like, I get that there's a point in time where, you have to be serious, and then there's another point where, you don't have to be as serious.
Mhm.
I always found it so much easier to want to get on the radio when you are able to laugh and joke around with each other. So I just I really appreciated you bringing that up. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, thank you. And I really said that because I'm just teasing you guys still. There you go. But thank you. I appreciate that, Brent.
One more comment.
Yes, sir.
Jeremy and I have been throwing around the idea. We did this years ago with KC2CU and a few others. We had what we called it the joke net, and we scheduled it every week. It went on for a while, and we got on there, and everybody took their turn at their favorite clean joke.
I love it. I think we should bring that back.
All right. Thank you so much, Lisa. Appreciate it. And everybody who commented too.
Was there someone else? It seemed like I heard someone that. Okay, I guess that's it. Thank you. Back to you guys.
Yeah, anybody else have a comment or question for Lisa?
I'll say something. 25 years ago, my wife and I both got our licenses. That was back before cell phones, so that was her reason for doing it, so she could talk to me. But then she let hers expire, and she was no longer interested. She didn't want to take the test again. And I've commented a couple of times that it would be nice when we were hiking to have radios and stuff, but I kind of left it alone. And then last year on my birthday, she surprised me and said that for my birthday, she was going to retake the test. And she hasn't done it yet, but she's been studying. And that just totally blew me away that she would do that. And I had left her alone for a few years, and maybe that was the key, like you were saying, to when they say no, just leave them alone and then see what happens.
Oh, very good.
Wait a sec. Who is WH6QV?
That's
Joe.
Joe. Yeah.
Hey, man, no means no, especially when it comes to more radio gear. I'm sorry, I just had to comment.
Sorry. Anybody else have questions or comments for Lisa?
Not for Lisa, but for everybody listening, just making sure that everyone knows that the Ladies Net and Family History Net are on UVARC repeater 146.78.
Thank you,
All
Jill.
right.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Jill.
I have a semi-related question.
Go for it.
When I moved out, my wife passed away a few years back, and I got remarried. And when my new wife saw all the wires in the back of my house in Taylorsville, she freaked. So I'm trying to figure out a convenient way of making it look neat so I can get my HF back up. Anyway, that's my little comment about my wife.
So my tip, so every time I counted how many antennas we have on our roof, there was another one. And so I just quit counting. And you know what? It's held steady at 6 because I stopped counting. That's my tip. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. I'll be quiet.
All right, one more chance. Anybody else? Questions, comments? All right, then. Let's move on here. Let me just. So thank you so much, Lisa, for your time and participation and your preparation. That's what I meant for this presentation. Thank you so much for doing this.
Welcome. You can thank me better when you get home.
All right. Chocolate it is. Yeah,
Okay.
I know the magic sauce there.
That'd be
All
great.
right. Flowers. Anyway, all right. We're going to move into a quick little Q&A here. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but I'm going to divide this into 2 sections really quickly. And the first part of the Q&A, I would like to get some ideas from you. And there right now, there are anywhere from 86 to 90, about 100 people right now watching this presentation. And we just want to know from you, what kind of ideas have we not thought about as a club leadership that maybe you'd like to see us do sometime? I mean, heck, we do swap meets and, winter field day, regular field day. We get special event stations and on and on. What kind of things have you thought of maybe that you'd like to do that maybe we can entertain? So I've got my pen in my hand right now. I'm ready to write these down. Let her fire.
Comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
It never hurts to redo some of the ones we've had. I know that this club has only been in existence since 2016, around this time. And there's been, 1,000 new hams since then that didn't get a lot of the things that we did early on in club meetings, the battery one comes to mind, and others that, these questions come up with the new hams. Why not, redo some of the ones we've had in the past? They never get really old.
Agreed. I think it's a great idea to recycle some of our presentations and redo some of our events. So absolutely. Thank you very much. Good idea, Carl.
I wish we had a building night where we could build antennas or things like that. If we could possibly work that in somehow.
All right. One building coming up, Gary.
Yeah, building antennas or antenna parts and pieces. I just thought that'd be kind of. We did that. I did that before in a couple other clubs I belonged to. It was fun.
So building night. Yeah, we absolutely. It'd be good to have a build it night and a DIY night. Absolutely. Thank you, Gary.
Do you guys ever do the direction finding? Go find some spurious signal?
Yeah, we spent all this last summer doing that very thing. We had 3 fox hunts every week through the whole summer, and that was pretty fun for a lot of people. But since summer was over, we kind of quit on that, and that kind of died out. But we can always bring that back. So good, Spencer.
That would be good to learn and continue.
Yeah, good skill to have, right, Roy?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we'll do it again sometime. Time is sometimes a problem. Just to, have so much to do and so little time for those fox hunts. But yeah, we can bring it back. So yeah, thanks, Spencer. Good idea. Anybody else?
Comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
So once you've got your antenna built, you've got your radio, getting that antenna through the wall in a way that's going to be structurally sound, weatherproof, good for years, but you can close it up if you move so that you don't leave an ugly hole. I bet a lot of people may not have enough construction experience to know just how to do that, especially if you're going out through brick or you're going out through metal siding. There are some challenges in getting that wire from your antenna to your rig. And that might be a fun night to talk about ways to do that.
Sounds like Bob just volunteered.
That's a great idea, Bob.
I'm halfway qualified to teach it, but I'd need a team teacher.
I'd be more than happy to help out with that. I cheated. I took a board the same size as the window, and I so that the window would seal up against the board, and then I could drill my holes through the board And when I move, take the board out, close the window, and it's good.
That works for a vertical slider, but if you've got one that slides horizontally with metal frame like I do, as soon as you slide it, you break the seal where the middle parts meet together and the wind can just whip through. So it's a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, but I put the weather stripping in that section.
I can picture that, how that can be done. So
We happen to have a man that is keeping very quiet about this in the club, and he's online with us right now, who has done brick and mortar most of his life, as well as being a school teacher, and he's brilliant about it. That's KJ7SNE, Sean.
all right, very good, Sean. And thanks, Roy. Good ideas. Yeah, that's something I have not thought about, Gary, is wall penetration, and Bob. Very good ideas, Bob. That's something I have not thought about much. When I'm up against it, then I have to do it. But I don't think about making a presentation. So that's a really great idea. So appreciate that.
I just took where the brick met and I measured very carefully from my outside brick to my inside unfinished garage wall. And I drilled from the outside in so that I could put it in the cracks between, where the mortar was, and brought 2 lines in that way, put a plastic sleeve in so that they would have something to keep the water out. And then if I ever do move, it's just a matter of throwing some mud on it and the hole disappears.
Yeah, that's a great idea. The problem is whenever I do that, I end up popping the breaker for the entire block that I live on. So anyway, no, just kidding. Anyway, thanks, Bob. That's a really great idea.
And how do you put a ground rod in Orem? I was going to use the word soil, but that really doesn't apply. I got my ground rod in halfway and I hit the mother of all rocks and I was done. So I put 2 ground rods in, hoping that half of 2 rods might give me the same amount of ground coverage as 1.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And sometimes if you get through that's not completely rock, you can actually take a hammer drill down and just go down even further. But if it is true rock or concrete, then just cut off the rod and just put another rod, a shorter distance away. So yeah, you can do that. Maybe like 4 feet away, put another rod down. You can do that. So yeah, good idea. Ground rods are a good idea
I'd like to see how to do Mars modification on the radio that you already have.
Well, that's interesting. We'll have to talk about that offline there, Roy. But yeah, that's an interesting topic for sure. All right, one more chance. Anybody else have thoughts about? Go ahead, Larry.
How about utilizing IRLP and Echolink radio?
Definitely.
All right. Yes, using IRLP and Echolink, how to use them, how to set it up, how to get your smartphone to recognize and get your server all going and everything. Yep, very good.
I got a comment.
Go ahead.
I was here first.
Okay, Lisa, then Carl.
First. Go ahead, Annette.
Thank you, Carl. I appreciate you. So I think that we should have a DIY night, and part of that we should be able to personalize our radios so they look like they're ours, like put bling on them, or maybe build tiger tails that are cute. Okay, go ahead, Carl.
Spray paint.
If you couldn't read my lips, I was going, not again. One of my pet peeves, and Noji, you've heard this before, and several others have too. We got a lot of hams out there that don't know they have a QRZ page, and they've not set them up. There's no information on there besides their address and stuff that they submitted to the FCC. And so when you go to look somebody up, there's nothing there. And if you needed to get a hold of them for some reason, there's no email address attached to it or anything else. But to have a night on setting up a QRZ page and using their QRZ and their QRZ logs.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, because I always want to see people's QRZ page be updated too. It's kind of frustrating sometimes, and so yeah, that is a good topic. for sure. And we'll have to have that demonstrated in front of the club meeting.
Hey, Noji.
Yeah, go ahead, Harry.
Yeah, why don't we do a night on setting up a logbook of the world?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. Yeah.
Yeah, because I set it up and I haven't touched it in years, so I probably need to. I know I've changed my call sign, so it's just it would help me.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea because that's a toughie. Yeah, the two programs that are toughest to configure are the Logbook of the World and Ham Radio Deluxe. Those two, man, they just drive you nuts. So good idea. Okay, we're gonna have to cut it short there on that Q&A, and we're gonna ask one more Q&A. We're gonna switch gears just a little bit now, and we're gonna bring up a kind of a technical Q&A here. Just a few questions, but anybody have anything on their mind that's rather technical in nature they'd like to bring up in front of this club meeting? Got something on your mind? Go ahead.
No, gee, I do.
Go ahead, Brent.
So as you know, I changed call signs after my grandfather passed away. And that kind of messed with my, I'm drawing a brain fart, so let me pull this up really quick. It messed with my Echolink account. And so I don't remember my password from when I was KI7GYY. And I don't necessarily know how I can switch my Echolink account from KI7GYY to KE7SAO because I don't remember the password. And I don't know my grandfather's password.
Anybody got any takers?
I think you can request it the same way that you did originally. And then you just have to set up a new account, don't you, with the new?
I don't know.
But when I changed my call sign, I couldn't get a hold of the guy that was giving out passwords, and I found a website that actually generated them, and it worked.
Oh, good.
So do a search for that and see if you can find the same website and if it works.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, good question there, Brent. Thank you. And hey, Con, wake up. All right, thanks for waking up, Con. Now, so anybody, other questions? Any technical questions that might be on your mind? Things that are maybe unusual and kind of got you going here.
It's not a question, but comment. Forgot the name of the guy who does the prices. You know, there's a software right on your phone that you can it's a name randomizer, so that it doesn't have to, cut the pieces of paper and pick them by hand and all that stuff. There's an easier way for that.
All right. Noted there, Con. Thank you very much. Okay, anybody else? Go ahead. Got any questions about antenna?
Jedi here.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Jedi here.
Just a quick question. Oh, go ahead, Mac.
I don't know if anybody out there is a genius because I'm looking for one. I like to work with remote stuff, hooking up a remote and making it work with your radio, wherever your radio is. And the one that I've been struggling with, of course, I've always struggled with, is RigPi. But RigPi uses this audio software called Mumble. And I have had success with everything making this Mumble work, except for an Android phone. I cannot somehow get an Android to recognize on the Mumble server that it's actually speaking, so that audio can leave the Android and talk to the Mumble server, in turn sending it out through the radio. What I want to know is, does anyone know how to update a program on a Raspberry Pi? I know how to install one, but I don't know how to say, hey, there's this program, it needs an update. I have no idea how to do that. So if anybody is a Raspberry Pi genius, I'd love to know.
Yeah, there's a command line command you can use to update packages. It's been a little while, Curtis, but I can send that to you later on.
Did you catch that?
Well, there you go. That's great. At least, Trevor, I know you. I know where you live, and I will hunt you down.
Hey, you don't know him. You only know of him. Just remember that.
Now, don't be going KC2CU on him.
Hey, hey, I only know of you. You don't know me and I don't know him. We only know of each other. Okay, that's enough.
All right. Anybody else? Any technical question you'd like to bring up? This is your time. You got something you ran into with your antenna? Something maybe you ran into with RFI? I don't know. Some issue. Go ahead.
I've got a question on HF antennas. I've got short space. I talked to a couple gentlemen before in the meeting. They were seeking of the AV680 and AV640. I'm looking for a HF antenna that doesn't take up a lot of space.
Is Doug online?
How much space do you have?
That's it. Okay, that's it.
I live in Pleasant Grove, and so we have our property isn't very large. So I'm wondering.
You have 75 to 80 feet?
No. I'm
Do you
thinking,
have 30
I'm thinking
feet?
going vertical, not horizontal.
Oh,
I'm actually considering a in-fed half-wave antenna. I need 80 foot for the line, and I'm going to run it across the south edge of my home, just standing off of the rain gutter with some insulators, and just run it from one end of the house to the other. I think I've got just enough footage to do that, and that should give me most of the bands.
yeah, I have an end fed that's 30 feet long, maybe 32 feet. Anyway, it just goes out to my play set, and it goes from 6 meters to 80 meters, everything in between.
Wow.
With a good tuner, but it works great. And it took my wife about a month to notice it.
I could put it up while my wife's out of town. She might not notice.
Yeah.
Don't you know you always put them up when they're out of town?
2 chances of that.
Fat and slim.
All
All right. I hope that helps. Anybody? One more question. Anybody anywhere got a question about I don't know, propagation issues, RFI in the shack? I know difficult times on HF. Anything that's on your mind? Did you get bit by your transmitter? Go ahead and bring them up now.
How to fully utilize a rig expert.
What?
This is a monthly meeting?
Yeah.
So wait, can you say that question again there, Roy?
How to fully utilize and understand a rig expert.
There's a bunch of us that do. But... Well, we don't want to admit it, Roy, because then we'd have to come over and help you.
Have a class on it.
Well, that's not a bad idea, you know. That's not a bad idea. Have a class on a spectrum analyzer and antenna analyzer. That's a great idea. I'll have to write that down.
Who was the person that had the line attached to the gutter? Can you come back on that? Are you stringing it off the end of the gutter, or are you paralleling the gutter?
Paralleling the gutter, just like you would do if you had an electric fence, where you, the thing that's an eye hook with a plastic in the middle, like you might run a dual wire, the old TV antenna stuff, and then find a way to clamp it to the gutter, or maybe attach it underneath the gutter in the soffit area. That's the idea.
I think I've read somewhere you have to be careful with that, because what happens if that's a metal gutter, and it does affect the line and the antenna. So it might affect your direction. It might knock down your power or SWR high or something like that. So you'd have to maybe experiment a little bit with it. Maybe
I'll look for something that'll stand a foot up off the gutter and clamp to the gutter. There's got to be something out there that can raise it enough away, because I hear what you're saying with the metal. And I don't have the gutter all the way along the home. It's only where the entrances are. The rest of it just falls straight down. So I only have a little bit of area where I've got a metal interference of the total 80 foot that I'm going to go.
About 5 or 6 years ago, I did that, and I got terrible reception, terrible transmission. Switched just a end fed going from the corner of my house to a poplar tree, and then dog legging right, and I've made contacts all over the place. So I didn't like it, but it might work for you.
Well, I'm just afraid that yeah, it's being like a J pole completely wackoed because of that extra length. But yeah, it's worth experimenting with. Maybe it would be separated enough. I don't know, but I do know that if it is a metal, real close to another piece of metal, as far as radio frequency is concerned, it will affect it. So fiddle around with it, see what happens.
Yeah, odds are he's right. You'll have capacitive coupling between the antenna and the gutter being parallel, and most likely it will detune the antenna. If there's any way possible, feed it against the gutter and run it out pretty much perpendicular from the gutter, if there's a way to do that.
I've been looking at antennas on YouTube for quite a bit the last few weeks. And there is a YouTube video of a gentleman who did that. And he said he had it close to the gutter and it didn't work. And he moved it up 1 foot away from the gutter. And he had showed pictures of how to do it and what he did, and it worked. So go out and look on YouTube for an antenna running along the gutter.
You know, the worst antenna you have is one you never put up.
Good point. Good point, Doug. Yeah.
There's a question on YouTube.
Yeah.
Kevin Reed is asking if there's any way he can use the stock antenna on a Baofeng UV5R to talk to his family near Boise from Orem.
Oh, the answer is definitely yes. But hey, what do you think? Let's turn it over to Doug and see what he says. So Doug, this gentleman on YouTube says that he's got a little Baofeng radio with a stock antenna, and he'd like to communicate from Orem over to his family in Boise. Can he do that?
If he's got good line of sight to Farnsworth Peak and can get a good signal into the Intermountain Intertie radio up there, the answer to that is yes. It would just depend on OEM antenna on most walkie-talkies is a poor excuse for an antenna at best, regardless if it's a Baofeng or the best Yaesu out there on the market there. None of them are very good. But again, it depends on where he is and the signal he can get into Farnsworth Peak, into the Intermountain Intertie there.
So probably he should get a better antenna anyway, is what you're saying, right?
Ideally, a more efficient antenna. Absolutely, yes.
All right.
And also most of the multi-band antennas for HTs, they pretty much favor a specific band. So you want to look into that. And if you're going to be using VHF more than UHF, you might want to get something that'll be a better antenna for VHF, and vice versa if you're going to be on UHF more so.
I know a guy that makes J-poles.
JDI.
I've actually done both. So I was in Boise back in November and hit the Intermountain Intertie from there and talked to a friend in Orem area. And I've been in Orem and hit the Intertie on the Baofeng down there at the Farnsworth Peak repeater, and talked to people up in Boise. So it's possible. I do have one of those 19-inch signal sticks, so not the rubber duck.
Oh, very good.
You got to keep in mind when you're a distance away from a site like that, you may have to pick your spot. You don't want to really be in your house, walking around in the house with the walkie-talkie while you're talking on it. You want to find a good spot and just stay there when you're in anything other than being right next to the mountaintop, like Provo to the top of Lake Mountain. That'd be a little different story.
Or you
can this is JDI.
Link or IRLP.
Yeah. Yeah, Trevor says
right,
you can always go for Echolink, Oh, did I cut somebody off? Okay. Well then, all right, we get, thanks for everybody's participation in that Q&A. We're gonna have to move on. And so the next segment of this club meeting tonight is, and thanks you, sorry, you guys don't have to sing, all right? Not this time. When we meet back together again, then maybe you can sing all you want. Anyway, not without me there. But I am going to turn the time now over to Brent. Brent, are you ready for door prizes?
I am.
All right, the time is yours.
All right. Good evening, everyone. And thank you, Lisa, for that wonderful presentation. That was awesome. And thank you, Noji, for everything that you do for the club, as always. So tonight we have one of 5 door prizes and then 2 main prizes. Our main prizes tonight consist of a stretch and seal, a signal stick antenna. Noji, you have work light written on here twice. Does that mean there are 2 work lights available?
That is correct.
Okay, we have 2 work lights available. And then, of course, we have an annual ARRL membership. All right, so the first lucky winner, mixing these up really good. $4848 W7OLD Phil Speed.
All right, thank you very much.
Bill, what would you like? You got a stretch and seal, a signal stick antenna, 2 work lights, one each, or an annual ARRL membership.
My membership's about to expire, so I think I'd like that.
Okay, Noji 4848 Phil Steed is for the ARRL membership.
All right, it's on its way. Congratulations, Phil.
Thank you.
Winner number 2. See if I can find my name in here.
You know, we got to find a drum roll, soundbite or something, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find my name in here, but so far no luck.
Yeah,
2222 AA1HE Harry English.
Yay, Harry.
That's me. Hey, I'll take the signal stick.
The signal stick. All right. 2222 Harry English has the signal stick. Noji.
For a Yaesu.
Okay, so we have the 2 work lights and a stretch and seal antenna, and it's 1 work light per person. So we've got 3 prizes left.
I should have mentioned that.
No one's gonna believe me.
We don't believe you. Did you find it? Redraw. I demand a recount.
Should I put it aside?
No,
It was an accident.
No, you could do it, Brent. You could do it. We'll take it at 8171.
All the good prices are gone though. Let's see. I'll do what's a stretch and seal, Noji?
That's the tape you put around the connector on the outdoors so that it prevents water intrusion into your connector that's on your antenna.
I'll take one of the work lights.
All right.
That was a total accident, people, I swear.
With the paper, that makes it believable.
These are, I can even show you, they're all folded up in this bowl.
Was that a mail-in list?
Okay, here we go. 1248 KJ7 SMW Anthony Dunster. Anthony Dunster.
Anthony, are you on?
This is Mike. I checked number 1248.
There. Oh, no.
Wasn't for Mike.
I got Anthony Dunster here.
Huh.
So okay. If I got his number wrong, I could easily have screwed up.
When people were entering in their door prizes or their numbers, to me, I went in order on your list. So
Yeah, that's fine. But must be present to win. All right. So
Draw again.
who was that gentleman that was on just a second ago that thought he might have won?
That was me. I picked the numbers 1, 2, 4, 8, but that wasn't my name. So did we tie?
So Brent, could you look up Mike Rich and see what his number? You must have come in on late or something,
I think I
Mike,
mailed
'cause
it
I don't remember
in.
your.
I sent it in this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I might have
Or
screwed.
maybe it was last. Might have
Two,
been
four,
yesterday.
wait,
I don't remember.
1, 2, 4, 8.
Yeah. Because those are binary.
You have Anthony Dunster on here. 1, 2, 4, 8.
Huh.
All right.
That's okay.
All right. Well, I can go back and look it up too and make sure that I didn't screw up. So you know what? Let's go ahead and give it to Mike.
All right,
Yay!
Mike. You have a stretch and seal or a work light.
Let's do the work light.
All right.
I could resend that email if you want.
It'll just go to the bit bucket. So no thanks. That's okay.
Okay.
We got you, Mike. We got you covered, and you got a work light on your way.
All right, the lucky winner who gets the stretch and seal. 3030, Stephen Jones.
That's me.
Congratulations, Stephen Jones. You are now
Hello there.
You are a proud winner of a stretch and
Oh,
seal.
Stephen Jones, and I'm using my wife's computer.
Oh, okay.
Can
Yeah.
you
there
hear
you are.
me?
You look just like your wife.
You're a little choppy, but we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it for our main prizes. Now we're on to our two special prizes. Let's first start off with, or no, you know what? Actually, I'm going to do it this way. We have the dual band handheld transceiver and Apocalypse J-pole. The person that I draw first can choose one or the other. Here we go. One, two, three, four. James Brown.
What do you know? He says he was never going to win anything again.
Is he on here?
Oh.
That's my suitcase combination.
Yeah. That's okay. That's my password.
Hey, that's my bank vault combination.
Yeah.
That's my PIN number.
That's a password to my atmosphere shield.
James.
James Brown, are you on here?
He's probably singing some soul music somewhere. Call his name one more time there, Brent.
1, 2, 3, 4. James Brown.
Must be present to win.
Yep.
What's his call sign?
W7JHB.
He's watching on YouTube and it's 2 minutes behind. He doesn't know yet.
Oh,
He has read the name now. I've been monitoring it, so
okay.
he's now done it twice.
Okay, so I guess James is on. So we'll go ahead and award it to James since he is on YouTube.
Okay, which one would you like?
Oh, he hasn't commented.
No.
Oh, he hasn't seen it.
No, Brent said it twice on YouTube, but
Oh, I see what
nobody
you're
has said
saying.
anything in the comments.
Gotcha.
So do I put his name aside and draw another?
You know what? Let's go ahead and give it to. Well, I guess he's got to choose, right?
Yeah. So instead of me choosing which one, I was gonna have the first person choose which one they want, and then the second person obviously gets the other one.
Okay, you decide, Brent, and we'll do what you say.
Okay, let's give him the dual handheld. There's someone on here in particular that said they really wanted the Parker's J-pole, and I want to see if they can get it or not.
Okay. I wonder why he's saying that.
Hey, it can't be me. I already won my prize. Okay, let's see. I'm going to mix these up really good. The proud winner of one of Carl's Parkrest J-pole antennas.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention.
It's not. All right, 5557 N7 FOC. Rich
Run chisel.
What note you said? Rich
Run chisel.
That was one number off. You had my hopes up.
Yeah.
Rich, was that you talking?
No, that's Bob, his neighbor.
Oh.
Hey, Rich, you on? He was on earlier.
I am on.
There you go. You're a winner. You're a winner. Winner.
Is it one that breaks down Proctus?
You want one that breaks down?
I already have one. It's not.
Oh, okay.
Rich, if you need a place to mount that on your home, I can help you on the north side of my house.
Okay, thank you.
I can always upgrade it too.
Okay.
All right, that is it for door prizes. Congratulations to our winners, and thank you, everyone.
By the way, Brent, you might not have known this, but the transceiver is not a Baofeng. It's a TYT TH UV88. So it's
No, actually, I did not know that. You just had dual band handheld transceiver, and they're like 90% of the time they're Baofeng, so I just assumed it was a Baofeng. So my apologies for that.
No, I don't think you said it. No, it's not you. I'm just letting you know what it is and is not. You didn't tell what it is. That's okay.
Okay.
So yeah, it is a TYT, and it's a much sought for little handheld transceiver nowadays. A little bit higher quality than a Baofeng, and not as high quality as a Yaesu, but does everything that all the above does. It's pretty good little radio. But anyway, that's what James is going to do.
Lisa.
Oh, what she said.
Thanks, Lisa.
All righty. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you so much, Brent. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Your bright, shiny, smiling face. And thanks to everybody for being on here tonight. I'm sorry that a lot of you guys didn't get to win a prize, but maybe, there's always next month. So
I didn't hear him award the grand prize or the number 2.
Yeah, he awarded both of those. So who is this?
Oh, it was Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. Yep. The transceiver went to James Brown, and the Parkrest antenna went to Rick Reinchisel.
Oh, congratulations.
And I just wanted to share, they actually make a pink radio, Moji. They make one. Isn't that awesome?
$400, man. I think they do. They have. Somebody has. Okay, very good. Well, thanks everybody.
My name. Can I say something?
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead, there.
Yeah, my name's Jack Kirk. I'm from Hollister, California, W6KRK, and so I guess I'm the longest DXing tonight. I just wanted to. I'm part of your club, and I once in a while I'll check in on your 10-meter net, and I'm friends with Mark Conrad, and so just wanted to say hi and thank you. And you have a great club. I just had a chance tonight. Had a little extra time to check in.
Well, thanks, Jack. Good. Thanks for the kind words and welcome.
Thank you.
All right, guys. 7-3 to all. We'll see you next month.